We're out in the CruiseCast demo car, and Jim Crowley is going to give us a driving demo of the car and a quick tour of the user interface. So with that, I'm going to let Jim take the rear seat here and give us a quick tour.
This is pretty easy to use. It works an awful lot like what you would expect in the home. This is a prototype version of the program guide, but you can see that we've got a selection of 8 channels. We can page left and page right. This particular prototype takes a little bit longer to change channels than what we will have at launch. This takes about 6 seconds. At launch we'll have a pretty normal 3-second delay. And so you can see that we've got a full channel lineup. And when we launch we'll have even more features. So there'll be parental controls that will happen off of the same user interface and give parents an awful lot of control over what their kids are watching in the back seat. And so now we're going to switch to the Disney Channel, and it's just that easy, just like what you would expect at home.
So for their initial testing, they're using this IR remote, which requires a line of sight to the main receiver. But their production version, which is this one here, they've got their logo stuck on it, is actually going to be RF. So you could be anywhere in the car or in the vehicle and still be able to control your set-top box.
Okay, but parking under the tree, you've got 3 minutes of play before you lose picture. So I'm just going to make a U-turn here.
Yeah, it's perfect. So if we go underneath that thing, maybe we can,
Sure.
will that cut our signal out?
Absolutely.
The noise ratio is dropping to
Signal to noise ratio?
negative 35.
So we have no signal.
It's right up here in the corner, but our video is still streaming in.
Exactly.
So
Exactly, and this will last, well, on this version, again, this is still a prototype, and so we're still playing with the amount of buffer time, but it'll be between 2 and 3 minutes before this runs out.
For the prototype version, it'll be 2 to 3 minutes.
No, for launch, it'll be 2 to 3 minutes. In the prototype, we're playing around with different technologies.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure exactly how long this particular channel will last in this particular spot.
Right. Well, we're going on 30 seconds now, and we still have a pretty solid stream, so that's great.
Yeah, it works. That's the whole point. So the experience while you're driving is just like you would expect. So it takes a lot of technology to pull that off, but really at the end of the day, it isn't about the technology. It's about the experience of being able to watch TV while you're sitting in the car. And you don't have to worry about the technology. We've done that for you.
So we're getting negative 10 decibels and no video stream. Do you think that's the building here, or?
Yeah, you know what? I think I probably pulled up a little bit too far.
Oh, there we go. We heard a little bit of audio. Or was that the interleave? Now it's at negative 5.
Yeah, now we're good. So just too close to the building.
So for their initial testing, they're using this IR remote, which requires a line of sight to the main receiver. But their production version, which is this one here, they've got their logo stuck on it, is actually going to be RF. So you could be anywhere in the car or in the vehicle and still be able to control your set-top box. So the CruiseCast guys have been nice enough to show us the prototype hardware, the CruiseCast receiver box, which is in the trunk of the minivan that we just drove in. And there's a lot of stuff in this box that won't be in the final version, but I thought the MP3 car users would love to see this stuff. So and this will actually be in the final one as well. There's only one wire that goes to the antenna on the roof that's going to carry both the signal and the power, so you don't have to run a bunch of extra wires. The box is not ignition integrated, so you just feed it power. If you wanted to give it a relay based on shutdown timing, that would be up to an installer to do for both the prototype version and the commercial version. So this box has a bunch of component outputs and DVI outputs and several USB ports, which they've been using for testing. But if we go back to the other interview, that'll give you a better idea of what the final production version is going to look like. Thanks a lot to the CruiseCast guys for the inside look into their trunk.